everyone, and welcome to Your Best You. You know me, I'm Reverend Dr. Kat.
And I'm Joan Kazmarzik. Welcome.
Well, I think it's going to be probably around April. April's a big holiday season when this is going to be viewed on Nutmeg TV. Today, it's still March, middle of March, and we have a snowstorm outside. So it's a little brisk today. We're in the sitting area. And I've brought in some spring because I thought, well, by the time you see this, it's going to be April. And in April, we have so many festive types of events.
Yes, we do.
We have Passover.
And we have Easter.
Well, that's an easy one. What else? Passover and Easter. What else do we have?
Gosh, in April?
Yeah.
Tax Day.
It's a big month.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on in April.
Yeah.
So, when I think of where we are right now, as a community and as a culture, with everything that we have gone through as civilized human beings, I say kudos and bravo, because I don't think in any way, any form, the puppeteers, as I would call them, would ever have expected humanity to rise to such an occasion as we have, coming through the COVID, making masks for one another, whether or not what is what, if this, that's, set that all aside. Do yourself a favor and set it aside. Why? Because really, as our own selves, as I've expressed to you a million times, and I talk about it all the time, when we get all this Roy G. Biv aligned up, and we're in alignment with the spirit of love and light, our God, our Creator, our those that we consider our masters, say for example in Jesus, we can't live without that. See, and when we're in Chakra 3, we're in the place of ego, right? Your will, which is the hell no, right? Which we need to have at certain times. And if ever a time was such where a hell no stood up, I would say that the Ukrainians have stood up, whether or not the politics, again, set that aside.
Yeah.
The poor souls, we humans, we the civilians, the ones who are walking the earth and doing what we do in the daily matter of life. We don't have access, let's just say the masses don't have access or privy, or who even care. Why? Because there's nothing that can be controlled.
That's
So you move on with your life in the best way that you can, and that's why I've made Your Best You. It's relative, and it's not a perfectionist, and it's not a striving towards a perfect mark. It's just becoming centered in yourself, of knowing I'm enough, and what I'm doing and I'm striving towards is enough. And I don't measure myself by someone else. I'm a unique egg. And even a cracked egg tastes good, right? So, if it hasn't had a chance to go bad or anything, you can still cook your eggs, and if it cracks in the water, it's still okay. Yeah. It may not look like a perfect egg, being Easter time, right? Reference that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, don't get lost in this. And Easter is a time of renewal and rebirth and reviving. And yes, we want to always reach out and help when we can. And there's the best way that one can help someone else is to first really make sure that you're helping yourself, you say. And then you're able to give from what you have. You can't give what you don't have.
Right.
If I don't have this jacket, I can't take it off and give it to you, right? So, we cover ourselves metaphorically with the jacket. But as we take care of ourselves in the self-care and in the self-love practice, we're not metaphorically, caring. We are literally caring, right? So, and that has a vibrational frequency to it. And I think where we are as a planet when we woke up, like I said, 1 to 7, 1 to 7, 1 to 7. All right? We build up and we become awake and we become more enlightened and more conscious. And then we have a crisis that has come in, and that is now tested, and everything's revised and restructured because we have a new consciousness. Some of it's just sleight of hand and it's twist of, whatever. But you have individual opportunities to do it. Because as I've said many times, we start with ourselves, and then that vibrates to those around us, which then vibrates to those around us. So we say we want to spread love.
Right, like you said, the pebble in the pond.
Exactly. Everything is
And
energy.
it spreads out.
Everything is energy. So why? Why? I don't know why something happens. But let's just say, Joan, you brought the puzzle back in
Yes,
here.
I did. A different puzzle.
Well, what I want to say first is Joan makes puzzles. And remember when I said in the last show I would like to cover it and laminate it so that she can hang it? Joan expressed to me something that she likes to do.
Yeah, after a little while. I like to take them apart because then if I want to, at a later date, I can do them again.
Now that's what I wanted to pick up on.
I just like that. I like to
We human beings like to do that.
Yep.
And we've done it since we were little. You'd see the kids, they build with sand.
Yeah, they build this.
And we didn't care if the waves came in. We built it again.
Another one.
So
Yes.
there's something within us that helps us move through these cycles of 1 to 7. And the consciousness of that, which I've expressed before on earlier episodes, this is, I think, probably episode 49 or 50, I don't know. But on earlier episodes, I've talked about how each level of our development represents a level of our consciousness. And I don't know if you remember, for those of you who had watched, but we spoke about living in the first 3 levels. Hopefully that doesn't get Ruby going too. But the rescue sled dogs are singing. It's going to be a Virgo full moon, and so all the time when the moons get full, they sing more, but they sing several times a day. So anyway, as I was saying, as I talk over the hounds, I tease. Sometimes I sing with them.
So do I.
So, so I said the 7 levels of consciousness, and it's, the first is waking, which is chakra 1. And I don't know if you remember, I said, what happens when you wake a bear?
You better get out of its way because that's going to come after
So
you.
basically, that we are in that place culturally. And when we got up to chakra 7, this state of woke or awoken or waked or whatever fancy term they want to throw and market and sell right now, that state of kind of going, wow, okay, that state, it can be a good state to be because it's a state where you found out, but now that has to be tested. Remember I said that? It can't be just like, well, I've arrived.
Yeah.
Well, really? Have you really? Because I'd like to make sure. Poking the bear. So then what happens is we will restructure our boundaries because chakra 1 is that family, survival, creating safe boundaries, 1 and 2, when the boundaries have been violated and you don't have a strong structure. 3 is going to be weak, 4 is going to be weak, 5 is going to be weak because we built upon that. So we go back and we can individually, or something can happen and we're kind of guided back by, consequences. We could call them mixed blessings or whatever, So that's the waking and then dreaming and then sleeping. And basically most people aren't up to level 4, which is getting into the state of meditation. but we have a more and more in our civilization of people that are meditating. And so that vibrates a certain frequency, you see what I'm saying? And that's 4, that's level 4, that's the level of our heart. And we can see evidences of our heart and our heart chakra as we humans are reaching out to one another and helping one another during these trial times.
True.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it is.
So if you're feeling kind of worn down and everything, take this deep breath of fresh spring air and realize you're here and look what you have come through. And there's nothing but more of really good things to come because we go through cycles. Yeah. Okay, and then this big aha moment and we eliminate things.
Yeah.
It's like a cleansing, okay? And the restructuring. And it doesn't always, it's not going to come out perfect, guys. You know that. We're going to rise up, and we're going to see more things about us that we say, boy, we could really chip that away, and we don't need to think like this anymore. And there'll be others who will still be here, and they'll say, no, we really do need to think like, see what I'm saying? So we're in this space all the time, but what we want to do is not lose ourselves, okay? And stay connected to the ground and find other ways to connect other than the technology. Because if some type of cyber thing does happen, which is kind of the future of war, it's not bombing. This is barbaric, what's going on now. It's higher tech, depleting banking systems, et cetera, which is coming. There's no escaping this. It's almost as if when you built something and it takes on its own energy and form, as I've said to you before with the artificial intelligences. Yeah. So, we've built things now. We have to learn how to be in relationship to them. And when we're in relationship with them, we have to figure out what that means. And I think that's what we came here for. I think we came here to this place in time on earth as human beings to learn how to love one another. But because we get stuck in 3, which is will and ego, there's also ego in up in 6, but we have ego in 3. Remember, that's your saboteur.
Right.
Okay.
That's more of a base kind of ego.
Well, I mean, ego is a very dangerous creature because we need it.
But but I think it's more of a, like you said, it's more of a saboteur. It can be in either way.
Yeah, you've got to get in relationship even with your own ego.
Right, you have to have.
You have to get in relationship with your shadow side.
Yeah.
If you deny everything and say, I didn't do it, it's not me, you have no idea who you are then.
Yeah, it's all you are, as we've said before. You're not just one thing. You are many things all in one.
Yeah, many things all in one. Exactly. And as I said also, it's very hard to get up into this state of God consciousness level of, I'm searching the deeper meanings of life. If you remember, I just said this, okay?
Yeah.
Before the war, that's right, the 5th chakra is blocked. Censored, see? Okay, where are we and what are we doing, right? Okay, so we're growing and we're learning. But we came through this censor time. Can't say certain things, can't say certain words. We've always done this. This is not new. It's just we've got new words, so we're developing.
New words and ideas are now taboo.
Well, no, it's always been new words and ideas have always been taboo. Elvis was going to take us all to the portal of hell.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I'm just saying that whatever. It's just that in this time, it's just different words, different ideas.
Why? Because division. That's
right.
why. Because division keeps us from loving one another in our differences and accepting that perhaps we're not all the same and that we all do have these unique things that we bring together, and that when we can work together as human beings together, striving towards a common goal, look what we can do. We do it. It's amazing. And yet if you said to individuals, let's now strive together towards this to make it better we won't. We have to wait for a crisis. Yeah. And the crisis is what drives us. And then we get to view our humanity. And in some ways, people then get to use it as a balm. I feel better now that I was able to do that. it doesn't matter if the product ever gets to the destination, but the ego is like, okay, now I feel better. So,
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So it's this, the heart is open, whatever. Yeah, so chakra 3, I just thought, isn't it interesting how the timing of everything that we're doing right now, we're coming right up to chakra 4. So the 1 and 2, the bloodshed, okay, that is all disappearing. We're coming up to, now we're sending products and we're doing things that we're saying, okay, you can't have this oil and we're going to not do this because we have a heart. You're not going to stand by. So we slipped over into another world when I was talking about going back in time in Cro-Magnon and going
And coming
forward.
back and yet
I
no,
find that a little spooky, but that's okay. We clipped it in. Thanks,
Yep.
Brian at Nutmeg TV, and thanks, Nutmeg TV, for all you do. We
absolutely.
couldn't do this without Nutmeg TV, and Nathan Duane and Joni Sutter, really appreciative.
Yeah, definitely.
So anyway, for the spring, I also brought in these amaryllis. I'm not moving up to the camera because my camera's acting funny. There's a lot of planetary activity going on, and there's a full moon coming in Virgo, which is a tough, exacting kind of moon. So, the amaryllis, if you recall what they looked like before, are now down to their bulb size, say. And
So now we're going to just let those rest.
well, not yet. I'm still letting it just kind of, I followed the instructions. I removed all of the dead matter
Okay.
as it restored itself and got as much life into it. But it actually said to put them outside in May and dig a hole and put it in the ground, the pot in the ground, and then. So I'll be doing that. I'll let you know. Hopefully I'll be able to get that on the camera.
And you'll have something else to plant in the spring too. You'll have some daffodils to plant.
Yeah, I always have a lot of things. It's Easter Bunny time, I brought the little bunny in.
Yep, you did.
Yeah, so never let them, really take that part of you that's the joy in your heart, because we are really at the heart center. We're coming up to the throat chakra, as a culture and as a society, and we're learning that we want to speak, and we're being told you can't say that. Again, we talked about that a little bit.
Yeah, we
But
did.
I mean, it's this whole part of being able to articulate, and we will be re-articulating. And things that we have made decisions on end up getting rethought of, and they decide, well, we don't want to allow that, whatever bill or whatever you did before. So things are always recycling, they're always changing.
Yep.
We always have an opportunity to renew and rebuild. And I would just say for Easter and Passover, and the whole idea of that, sacred egg, let's not lose sight of that. Let's not lose sight of the fact that, there's dark times, but then the spring comes.
Yeah.
And keep the energy of your soul uplifted in that space. Use the spring and the holidays to renew yourself. Go out and ground. Do what makes your heart sing in the spring, right?
Yes.
Because, other seasons come and seasons go, and to everything, there's a season. And there's a time and a purpose under it, even though we don't understand it. Being able to sit in that paradox of life, that birth is happening at the same time that death is happening. And being able to sit in the middle of that and find our own personal love that can then be shared so that we are, in fact, loving one another, even if we have differences. And, there's this sense of there's all-seeing, all-knowing, omnipresent, omniscient God, and yet evil still exists. And we don't have the answers as to why that is. But we do know that a new day comes and the sun rises every day, and that we as human beings are uniting together in love and light and sharing with one another and opening our doors and opening our hearts after being closed and cloistered and isolated. So, let's take that as a blessing and run with it.
Yeah.
Or go
It's
like a turtle with it, but let's just keep moving forward
exactly,
with that
'cause
energy.
it's a beautiful thing.
It
It's
is
a beautiful thing to see.
It's a beautiful thing to see. So Joan, you brought in another puzzle.
Yeah, that's what we're
Yeah,
talking
3
about.
minutes,
This is
3
what it's going
minutes.
to look like when it's
Don't
finished.
go up to the
I'm not
camera
going to.
because they don't see anything, so,
Right.
you know, you have to verbalize what it's gonna look like.
It's wolves.
It's wolves, okay.
It's wolves.
So
It's
you'll
a
see.
wolf pack and some pups. And right now it's getting there. It's not done yet. I'm just gonna
Puzzle. We're always putting puzzles together and taking puzzles apart.
go.
Life is
Life
one
can
big
be a
puzzle,
Yes, it is.
right?
So you'll be seeing this, I'm sure, as we go along.
You know, to whom much is given, much is expected. So every level of enlightenment and awareness, or wherever you are, if it's financially, been given wealth and fortune, if your health, whatever you have, that's like it's a gift.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
It's the gift, and you've been given that as a gift, and too much is given, much is expected.
Yeah.
So, it's like you can't expect someone who doesn't have control over a certain situation to necessarily fix it. You expect the person that's getting $2 million a year, that's been sitting in the seat of whatever, to fix, right?
Or to help, yeah.
Well, to guide the fixing, to
Exactly.
lead it, not dominate it, but we're learning about leadership, and we're actually beginning, I don't know, it's nothing new to me, but leaders are inspiration. The people should be guided by the heart. A leader is either a dictator, you know what I mean? So I think that's all something that's coming up now, and it's all a beautiful thing. Okay, listen everyone, I know this went fast, and I hope it's not too choppy in between. I put up a new thing in the end. Thanks for watching. You know I love you. And I'm always saying prayers and sending Reiki out to everyone every day, just as universal love and light. Nothing, like, oh, well, that's very mystical. Actually, if you just get up and you put your foot in the right direction, you'd be surprised which way you end up.
Exactly.
You want to say anything to say bye?
Just
Lead us out?
Lead us out. Just
Sure.
know that we are thinking of you, we are praying, and we hope that you have a wonderful start to spring. It's going to be here any day, and it'll be well into spring by the time you see this show. And we are looking forward to our next show, which will be for the heart chakra.
Yep, heart chakra.
Heart chakra.
You know where I'm going to take you? I'm going to take you to the heart chakra center of the earth. Can you believe it?
Okay.
I'll
That
see
sounds
you
like
there.
a very interesting show.
In the meantime, stay safe, be blessed, and know you're enough.
Definitely.
Love ya. Bye.
Bye.